Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all fine. Quick one. So today we'll be discussing. No, I will be discussing with you. Hey, Grafunu, me, main no. So, in this session, we are going to talk about business process model notations, and how you can actually narrate them when you see them, right? So, from my side, I think I use some tricks to understand how it works. So I'm going to also lay out the same steps and then make sure that we all understand it a bit. If you still don't understand it, my DM will still be available for you. Right. So first of all, what I want you to know is that the Bpmn, which is the business whatsoever, business process model notation, right, is basically just a graphical representation of the activities in a business, right? So, like our normal daily life, for example, if you were a student, it's going to be like maybe one of the activities will be coming to class, right? So, like for example, it's like coming to class that will be represented in a diagrammatical form, right? So in the business as well, when it comes to purchases, when it comes to depositing and the like, right, they can represent it in a diagrammatical way or in a graphical way. And that's the same work that the Bpmn also does. And in today's session, I'm going to just go through some steps for you to be able to understand them. And then also we explain the ones that were given to us as an assignment. If let's say come in the exams, then fine. If it doesn't swash, so let's keep this. So now there are some diagrams in the Bpmn that you need to identify them, right? Once you know them, you are good to go. Note that the Bpmn is the graphical representation of the starting point of an activity to the ending point of the activity, right? Like the same way as a student, when you come to school or when you come to class, the starting point where you go and bath and then do your things before you come. So when the class is over and you're going back to your hall, right? That's the same way that this thing also does. Now, once you see this symbol here, let me share screen here. Sorry. Hey, boy, wait, trio. Right, so this is the BPN, whatever I was talking about. Right. So these are some symbols that you are going to see. Once you see this symbol, it means the activity has started or has begun, right? So that's why they are saying that the starting or the beginning of a process or the activity starts with this circle. Now, once you see this one as well, that's the ending part of the activity. So more or less like weapon class alcohol. You get an alcohol and you are done eating and you've gotten back to your hostel. That's the ending point of everything. You get it? And then this one is what the activity itself. Now, in some books as well, when I went through some books, they said it's the same as the event. So the activity is the same as the event. You get it? So you can also keep that in mind. But I don't know, maybe in our syllabus, girlfriend, no, no, no. In our syllabus, it might be like that. So it's either an activity or an event or an activity or a task. Sorry. So it's either an activity or a task. So you can just keep that in mind. So let's just go by this textbook, which is the activity, right? So this is the activity. So normally, whatever is going to happen in the activity is going to be stated in this round edged rectangle, right? So you are going to see that. Now, this is a decision. In some books, they say that it's the gateway. So now, if you are coming to Bush Canteen to come and buy food, right? Now, one decision you are going to make from the thing is that you are going to ask yourself, do you have money? If yes, you are coming to Bushke. But if no, then you are going to it's either if no, then it's either you are going to withdraw money and then come to Bushke, or you are going to ask somebody for money and now say, oh kwakwada, oh go back to your hall, right? So there is a decision. So that's this normally happens in the diagram. So the decision made during the process when you were coming, whether usika na eso ana enso. If it's not, then you find ways and means to get money and come and buy the food, or the vice versa, like anything like that, right? So now the next one here is the arrow. Now, when you see the arrow which is straight, then it means that that's the flow from one activity to another activity, right? So when you see the arrow and then it is straight like this, is the flow from one activity to another activity. But once you see it's breaking like this, then it is from either an activity to a database or from a database to an activity, right? So once you know this, I'm sure that you'll be able to understand the diagrams that we are going to talk about today, right? So now, what's going to happen here is that once you're able to understand this diagram, there is an important thing I would also like you to understand before you do or you try to explain any BPN diagram. And what I'm trying to say here is the lanes. Is the lanes. Right? So in the BPN diagram, you will see like this. You see some box like this. And then you will see another one too like this. So maybe here will be for bank, and here will be for company, right? Once you're able to identify the bank or the company, then you are good to go. Right? Once you're able to identify the bank or the company or whatever, once you're able to identify the lanes, then you are good to go, right? So here you see they are saying that the flow of data or information is indicated by an arrow. This one is the annotation information is the information that helps explain the business processes entered in the business process diagram. And if needed, the bolding dash arrow is drawn from the explanation to the symbol, right? So, but from what I saw and then read and videos I watched, most of the arrows that were connecting the activities were straight, but the ones that were connecting to the databases were broken. So I think there's some discrepancy here because here, no, what I'm seeing here is okay. Okay, I understand. Here you can see that they are bold as compared to the one connecting to the data, right? So let's move on. That even doesn't do anything like that. So now, once you're able to identify these lanes, then you are good to go, right? So in every BPN diagram, BPMN diagram, what I would want you to do is to first look for the lanes. Once you're able to identify the lane, then the other ones will follow, which is these ones will follow, right? Once you're able to identify the lanes, then these symbols will follow, right? So now, since we now understand this, let's move to the diagrams and then look at what's happening here. So this is the banking model make deposit, right? And now we can see three lanes here. You have the credit card company, we have the express coffee company, the company itself, and then we have the company's bank. That's the bank we are seeing up here, right? This is the bank we are seeing here. And then this is the company itself. And then this is the credit card company that was used by the customers or something like that. And then the company itself, we are having the data base, and then we are having the accounting department, right? Now, accounting department have received, say, okay, Sika in the firm, right? Now, prior to that particular listing, what is going to happen is that the accounting department is going to request the credit card daily batch summary from the credit card company, right? So you see the starting point is here. So here you can see that once you're able to identify the lane, you can see where the real deal is starting from. And it is starting from the company itself, the accounting department. So the accounting department of the company is requesting for credit card daily batch summary from the credit card company. That's why you are seeing this arrow, right? So now the credit card company will do what? Send the credit card batch summary to the company's accounting department. So here is it. So the the credit card company will send the credit card daily batch to the accounting department. Now, when that happens, the credit card company is going to deposit the amount that the company has from the credit card to the company's bank account. You get it? So that's what will happen here. So transferring it straight from here to the company's bank account. Now, after doing that and receiving the summary, what will happen is that the company is going to check whether the credit card summary that was received actually match the customer's payments, like what they've the payment that they've made so far. If it is matching, then they continue to record all the deposits into all these database we are having down here, right? Into all these database we are having down here. But if that doesn't happen, then what's going to happen is that if it doesn't match, they solve for any error or resolve any discrepancy before they now record it into all these database, and then that ends this process here in the accounting department. You get it? So you can see that once you're able to identify the lanes, you'll be able to actually identify what's happening because there's an arrow showing you this comes here, moves here, and the likes. So this makes it a bit easy. So you can see that. So you can see from here, this diagram, decision diagram is here. This decision diagram is here, right? Does it match? Yes or no? Like the one that I was using, that do you have money to go to Bushke? Yes or no? If it is no, then you go and withdraw money, or you go and use a dream to bore somebody trim and take money and go to Bushke. If yes, then you go straight to Bushke. That's the same thing, that the same application we are trying to apply, right? So for now, no, the concept of when it is a straight line, we should do this and do that. Let's just ignore that one and then just follow this one. So you can see from here, right? You can see it here. So this is it for the banking model make deposits. I'm sure with this, you can even do the other ones, right? So let's move to the other one. The next one we are having here is the purchase vendor model. The vendor model purchase order, right? More or less like you are trying to what? Purchase from a vendor, right? So you are purchasing from someone, right? And this is how it starts. So you can see that here, how many lanes are we having? We are having one and then two lanes. But these two lanes, the first one is the vendor, and then the second one is the company itself. Now you can see that we have the database side under the company, we have the purchasing department, and then we have the accounting department. So you have to identify all this and then let the process be easy for you and soft. You get it? Now, we can see that the process starts from the purchasing department. Now, the purchasing department is going to check the inventory levels and then see whether inventory or what anaasɛ ebi ni hɔ. But for now, ashe. So now, look at it here. Now, it will be checking from the item table whether some is or some is not there. If some is not there, then what will happen is that they are going to what? Process a purchase order, right? Now, processing the purchase order, they are going to look at the vendor table, purchase order table, and then purchase order line table. Now, when they are done with that, they review the purchase order for authorization. That will be done by the accounting department, checking the amounts and everything, whether it is correct or not. So now, here will be moving to a decision whether they should order or they shouldn't order, right? They should order or they shouldn't order. Do they even have enough money to even pay for the order and the likes? If yes, then they go straight and then authorize the order. But if no, what will happen is that they try their possible best to resolve that particular error that is making them not to order, right? If the discrepancy is resolved, then they continue to authorize the order. But if still they are not able to resolve that discrepancy, what's happening? They will reject the order. They will reject the order. Then that one, no, everything will end here. You get it? But if the order is not rejected, then they continue they authorize the order, and then now they do what? They generate what? The purchase order. Then that purchase order will be sent to the vendor. Oh, the purchase order will be sent to the vendor for the vendor to what? Maybe deliver the items and the like. So when that happens, then the process ends here. You get it? So that's it. It's a bit easy. Once you're able to identify the lanes, then, but if let's say you also have any additional explanation, kindly give it to me because we all dey hear more. But this is how I understand it and this is how I see it. So I'm sure it's self-explanatory or something like that. So let's move to the next one. Maybe I'll be doing this video in two folds. The one that I'll talk about the calculating this thing, or I should do all here. Two. So let's check the next one now. So the next one is what? Entering bills Bpmn, right? Now the first thing as well to do is what? To first identify the lanes. We have the vendor lane, then we have the company itself lane, then we have the data under the company, and then we have the accounting department under the company. Now you could see that the process actually starts from what? The vendor. So when you are narrating, you can see that the vendor sends a bill to the company and kasa. So the vendor sends a bill. It's all begin from the vendor sending the bill to the Express Coffee. Then the company itself will what? Receive the bill. Once they receive the bill, they match the bill to their purchase order and the receiving report, right? Now, that purchase order will verify everything from the item table, vendor table, purchase order line, employee table, right? These are all databases that they are going to verify from. Now, if it matches the bill, what do you think will happen? They record the bill. But if it doesn't match, they solve for what? The discrepancy or what is causing the error before they record the bill. Now, when that happens, they record it to the accounts payable table database, and this ends the process. Right. So with this, I'm sure we understand this stuff up to this point. If you have further explanation, you can let me understand it more better. You can also DM me with it. And I wish all of us all the best. I think I'll do the next video for the calculation part of the testing. Let's see if it will come. If it doesn't come to Ashe, as I say, see you in the next video. Bye.